push this button, and I'm going to push this button, and I got to push this button, and we are live. Hey, everybody.
Hey everybody,
Say hey,
how's it
Joe.
going?
Hey, Joe. What do
Hey
you
Joe,
know,
it's Chris and
Joe?
Joe.
What you
What are y'all
know,
doing today?
Joe?
It is cold here.
It's
The sun's
cold.
shining, but it's cold. It's cold.
The weather outside
I mean,
is frightful.
it's like break up the Columbia and Patagonia jacket's cold. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Like the shells. Like boom. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
You know when
dude.
it's cold enough outside, the jacket cold weather gear out.
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh, it's not so bad, but it's not so bad because you got two jackets on and hat and gloves. You're ready for it. Yeah, it
exactly.
sucks. It's not.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm gonna run out to the car in my t-shirt and no shoes. He's like, no.
Mm-mm.
Freeze.
Mm-mm. This morning, I woke up to 38 degrees this morning. Aloha, Patty. Hey, Sharon. That is cold for
Hey, Patty,
us.
what you doing? Hey,
When the morning
Sharon. Hey, I haven't
before
seen
was
Sharon in a long time.
61, you know?
Yeah, that's rough, buddy. It
I,
was what 17 yesterday morning. Morning it was probably in the high 20s. It was cold. I mean, it's been cold both mornings. It sucks. I want to make
yeah.
that kid start riding the bus. They'll pick her up right at the door. I mean, they pick her up at my driveway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't have I have a normal driveway pretty much. It's a normal driveway. Pull in, there's a garage there.
Mm-mm.
Oh well.
Mm-mm. So,
I'm like, yeah, you just go.
yeah, yesterday, we did a lot of talking about crypto yesterday, and because I had that appointment with the teacher and everything, I was a little bit rushed
Everything go good?
yesterday. Yeah, everything went well.
Hmm.
Dadpreneur 101 did very good. So, you know, um,
Awesome.
there was a couple things I wanted to talk about yesterday, or I intended to talk about yesterday, but we just kind of got on the crypto thing and stayed on it, and that's cool. That's fine. We are crypto. Let's talk after all, right? So, um, but I wanted to tell everybody that it's crazy trying to get back in the swing of things after a holiday. Okay, so Joe and I, we didn't do anything as far as lives and presentations and things of that nature for a week.
Uh,
So when we came back, coming back, we were like, whoa, you know, it's like, what is this thing called a
yeah,
schedule? So
yeah. I'm
you
still
know.
working with it. Like,
Uh,
okay, yeah.
And Joe,
Yeah.
while we were off, Joe got real accustomed to his naps, and so now he's like,
I really
I'm prying him with a crowbar out of the bed. Let's go, Joe. We gotta go. We gotta go.
like eat, nap, eat again, nap,
He's
eat.
on a permanent
Gloria called
turkey
me fat.
high.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm,
Man, I ate about Gloria to eat ham, and I'm not a big turkey fan. I don't dislike turkey, but if there's a ham there and a turkey there, I'm eating the ham. You know, and so
yeah.
we just did like a half a ham.
Mm-hmm,
That's a half a ham, big ham.
mm-hmm,
I've eaten at least half a.
mm.
I just keep eating. I think I'll have a ham on some biscuits. I'll have a ham on some dinner rolls. I'll have a ham on some bread. I'll just have some ham.
Hey, was it the purple foil ham?
It was the purple foil ham. Yes, it
Oh,
was. They were so good.
oh,
Oh,
dude, I love
you're
those.
like, they're good. They're so good.
Mhm. Yep,
It's
yep.
just sitting in a big dish in there. Like one of those white dishes with a glass lid. It's still
Mhm.
just sitting. I just go in there with a knife and cut off pieces. I'm like, grab a stack of ham
I understand. I
because
understand.
they're spiral sliced already, so they're just simple. Oh, it's great.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
I
Finally,
understand
last
that
night I was like,
completely.
honey,
Believe me,
they're delicious.
they're
Delicious.
delicious. So, funny thing is, um, and I'll get back to the business thing in a second. Everybody knows that for Thanksgiving, we went to the grandparents, and I got the distinct pleasure this year of not having to cook the whole meal. I just got to bake, which was fine with me. I like to bake, so that wasn't a big deal to me. However,
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a quandary, and maybe one of these ladies that's on here today or that gets the replay will be able to send me a message and tell me what happened. But I have these really nice, heavy duty, dark, non-stick bunt pans, big ones. Because you got to have a deep one, a big one, an old-fashioned kind for the real bunt cake recipes, right? So
Right.
I baked my 6 pies. They came out beautifully. I baked my chocolate pound cake. Came out delightful. Uh, put the cold oven vanilla pound cake in the oven. It rose beautifully. It come to the top of the pan and everything in about, I don't know, 12 minutes before it was done. It fell. I was like, really? So, I thought, well, I have been baking all day. Maybe I should have baked that first, right? So the oven, we had 3 ovens running. It was a real bakery around here. So the oven out in the shop was already cool by this point. So I went in the kitchen, got everything back out, because I thought it was done, right? Got everything back out, mixed up a cake, threw it in the pan, ran it outside, baked the cake. 10 minutes before the cake was done, it fell in the middle. I'm like, really? So,
Twice?
yeah, not quite as bad the second time. And so I called my peeps, right? And I said to my peeps, I said, y'all ain't getting a vanilla pound cake because that girl done fell twice. They're like, you better not throw that cake out. The ugly cakes are the best. You better bring that cake over here in a box. We're going to eat it. Okay, fine. And sure enough, it tasted fantastic. The flavor and everything was
It
perfect.
just didn't have
It just fell. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So then Mama was over here. No, I didn't shut the oven door too hard. I didn't open the oven door to look at it. I once I put it in, I don't touch it. I don't touch it.
That happened.
And additionally, I made my son sit down and play Legos in the floor and not get up until the cakes were done because I knew that his little stomping feet, my cake would be flat. So, Mama came over.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah.
You can't stomp around when a cake's cooking?
No, it'll fall.
I didn't know that.
Well, now box cakes don't usually do it, but
right,
real cakes from scratch, they will fall.
Cake.
They will fall. So anyway, long story short, Mama came over day before yesterday, and I was telling her about it, and it's her recipe. So she says, get the recipe out, and I have it in Evernote, right, on my tablet, on my iPad, and so I pull it out, and I'm showing it to her, and she says, I think that's right. I think that's right. Because she gave it to me years ago, but she hasn't made it in quite some time. And I've never had a problem. She said, I just don't understand. She said, let's go in the kitchen. So she gets in the kitchen and she makes the cake. And she throws it in the oven. And 5 minutes before the cake was done, it fell in the middle. I'm like, ugh! So if anybody has any ideas as to why my vanilla pound cake is falling, I would greatly appreciate it because it's a very popular cake and it's very aggravating that it won't stay up. The funny thing, and
maybe they've changed vanilla extract.
I don't know. This is the funny thing about this, though. Are you ready for this? The chocolate pound cake recipe is exactly the same, except you put the chocolate in it. Yeah, you put
instead
the chocolate.
Instead of vanilla.
Mm-hmm. The only difference.
I bet there's something different with the
vanilla. Maybe.
Like the extract's a little bit different or something. They might have changed. Do you use like the little extract?
Yeah, extract? I use the real stuff.
I bet something's changed in the formula of it. I mean, because if that's the only thing different, that's the only thing that should be different.
The only thing different. It's nuts, too, because you got to figure every time one of those cakes falls, you just lost 5 eggs, 3 cups of flour, 3 cups of sugar, half a cup of Crisco, 2 sticks of butter. It's like, really? So, yeah, that was my craziness. That was my craziness for the holiday. So, business is what business is, right? And so, I want to talk about the things that we do when we're at work. And the crazy thing is that most people don't realize that even though we work from home, we still work. We still have a routine. We still have a schedule that we follow. And when we get out of those schedules, when we get out of those routines, things tend to fly all to pieces. I noticed for myself, personally, although I was looking forward to the holidays and I was looking forward to having that extra time, I found myself almost lost at points and feeling as if though something were missing. Now, I'm going through the MKE experience, and some of you guys and gals are too. But the feeling behind that was really very strange to me. Now, I also realized, because I'm Black Friday shopping, I'm baking all day, I'm cleaning house, I'm putting up Christmas, whatever it is that I'm doing, all these things that have to be done, right? I'm finding that I'm not able to do the things that I do for Chris that I do in my routine. And so some of those things are readings and meditations and, just affirmations and talking to the guy in the glass and, writing, creative writing, expression, maybe some Marco Polos, maybe just touching base with a few of my classmates. But it's really very interesting to me how when we grow into something and we become accustomed to it, that we feel as if though the whole world is upside down if we don't do those things. So if you all felt that way over your holiday, you were not alone. And I know that there were probably a whole lot of people that felt that way. So this is what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest it, and I was going to suggest this yesterday. So I apologize that we're a day behind on that, but I'm going to suggest that you get yourself. You don't have to get the physical reset button from Staples, right, or Office Max or wherever that thing is from. The reset button or the easy button. I like to call it a reset button. I say that you get one of those and you sit it beside you on your desk and you kind of pap it and you say, okay, resetting, right, and start over. Forgive yourself for the things that didn't get done. Tell yourself, because it is, in the grand scheme of things, it is very okay that you didn't get some of the things done that you wanted to get done. That's fine. That's no problem. Okay, but just forgive yourself and pick the sticks. These are sticks, by the way. I call them sticks, pens. Pick up your sticks and go back to work. Okay, because you're going to find that you're going to feel better. Your energy level is going to go up when you start doing the things that you do and the routine that you have. We as human beings, and this has always perplexed me, but we as human beings are always constantly, I know that was a double whammy right there. Always constantly. We're always constantly, complaining about a routine or having to get up for work or, having to do this or having to do that. But then when you take it away from us, we're standing there going, what happened? What do I do now? Right? And so, be easy on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Get back into the swing of things. Allow yourself to heal. Pick up the pieces wherever you left off. Just pick up and start from right there. Because if you're like I am, you're looking around going, where do I begin? Where do I pick up? I don't know what I was doing. So look back through your notebooks. Look back through, your notes on your desk. Look back through your cards that you have sitting beside your computer. Figure out where your mind was when you called it quits for the holiday, and then just start right there. That's the best advice I can give anybody, okay, is just start right there. So we're all starting. We're all re-engaging. We're all re-engaging, and we're going to be able to, we're going to be able to get back to the things that we were doing. It's just going to take a minute. Now, the crazy thing is, and this is the crazy part, okay, is and this is really funny, okay? I'm going to say it, and you're going to laugh, but we have another holiday coming. In case you didn't know, ho, ho, ho is coming. So with that new holiday, we're going to be right where we were before. Okay. Now, since we just went through a holiday, we kind of know what to expect, right? We kind of know where we're at. We kind of understand what's going to happen. So we had a preview to what's about to happen. Don't let that get in your head. What we do want to do is we do want to allow ourselves to move forward and to carry our business with us. Now, here's something else that's kind of funny, and I don't know if you think it's funny or not, but I thought it was pretty funny. I wound up talking shop with some folks during the holidays that I had absolutely no intention of talking shop with, right? So how many of us have family and friends that we can't imagine them wanting to do what we do, or we can't imagine them being interested in the stuff that we do? I'm raising my hand because I'm including myself in that, right? And so at the end of the day, we have to look at that and say, okay, I can't discount anyone, right? I can't take away from anyone, right? Okay, so Joe apparently sent me a message. His Google is froze. Joe, we love you. You got to stop doing that. We got an empty chair. So, what I'm getting at here is, there were a couple people that came to my house during the holidays, had no intentions of talking to them, had no intentions of even remotely letting on to anything that I was doing, right? Because they're those kind of people that, they might not be as supportive. They might not be as on board as some other folks. So I wasn't going to say anything. Nothing. I wasn't going to attempt to. Allow them to, what is the word? Rain on my parade. That's it. So the funny thing is I was getting questions about some stuff at the house, and I was like, yeah, that's new. And of course, where did you get it? Well, I tell them where I got it. Well, what is that? Well, it's a business I'm in, and blah, blah, blah. And, they're probably going to sign up. 2 out of the 4 are probably going to sign into the business. Now, I tell you all that not to brag or be boastful, okay, because that's not it. I tell you all that because I am seasoned in this industry, and yet I discounted the value of someone else's desire, okay? And I tell people all the time, don't do that, right? Like, don't leave anyone off your list. Don't leave anyone that you know, like, or have a relationship with out of your circle. When you are successful, when you're rolling in the dough, you're going to want them rolling in the dough with you. But yet I did it. I did it personally. I just didn't think about telling these people because I didn't think they would be interested. So when you're thinking about your businesses and you're thinking about your business opportunity, and I know it's difficult, y'all. Listen, I'm not saying it's not. Okay, I'll be the first one to admit it's difficult to talk to the people that we know and love, we call family and friends. Hang on, let me get a sip because my throat's getting dry. My co-host disappeared on me, so I got to talk the whole time, right? Love you, Joe. So, it's crazy to think about talking to people sometimes. Okay, it's crazy to think about I think it's the big fear monster. I really do. I think it's the big fear monster. And I think the big fear monster gets in our head and our hearts and our souls and says we can't do it, we won't be successful, or that we can't talk to that person because that person's going to be negative. You know what? Here's what I've learned again, because apparently I needed to relearn the lesson. Here's what I learned again is, when you've got the right stuff, okay, and I'm not saying that whatever you have is the right stuff for every single person, but when you've got the right stuff for the right people, it's very, very easy. And I didn't I didn't meet them at the door all excited and say, "Oh my God, I got to tell you about this business I'm in and all this stuff, and you won't believe it, and you got to smell it, and you got to try it, and you got to do this, and you got to do that." I didn't do any of that. None of that, right? Um, Conversations are miraculous things. Conversations are miraculous things. And so, I still didn't tell them about the business. I still didn't tell them it was a business opportunity, even though they asked what it was and where I got it and this and that and the other, until I poked around a little bit. Because quite honestly, there are people that I don't see that often, right? There are people that I see maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year at most. And so because I don't see them that often, I wasn't in the loop on what was going on with them. I wasn't in the life of what was happening in their world. So I needed to catch up, right? I needed to be able to know, what is their pain? What is their hurt point? What is going on in their life that I can help them with, right? So the great thing about this particular company is that there's a little bit of something for everyone. And, even if they're not really interested per se, like they don't have a desire about any one of the 5 or 6 categories that the company covers, what they do have an interest in, and everybody can relate to this, is saving money. Okay. They want to save money. And this particular company allows people to save money buying the same stuff they're already buying. So, because of that one thing right there, what I just said right there, that means that my audience is a lot broader and that people that ordinarily wouldn't be interested are interested, because it's about being able to show them how they can continue to buy what they're already buying, save money, and get paid to boot. Now, this is not an infomercial and or recruitment meeting. This is a business talk, okay? And I got to drive this point home, y'all. I really do, because I would have never dreamed that these particular people would be interested, okay? And so they were nowhere near close to my circle list, all right? They weren't on my fear list, right? So I know everybody's got a monster list. If you don't know what a monster list is, let me explain. A monster list is somebody that you would really love to have in your business because they're ambitious, they're happy, they're a go-getter, they're successful, they love business, they love people, but here's the catch: you're afraid to talk to them. Okay? You're afraid to talk to them. So when you become afraid to talk to them, then they go on this thing we call the monster list. Okay? And I used to be with a company about 12 years ago that the first thing that the company did was have you make a list of 50 people, okay, that you knew or had some kind of interaction with, right? And excuse me. And then and they did this with you. I mean, you sat at the table with them while you were making your list, trust me. And then when you made your list, then they would come back and your enroller would look at you and say, okay, now who's on your, in a perfect world, I would love to have this person list, right? And they made you write this person's name down. And if you had their phone number, they wanted their phone number. If you had their email, they wanted their email. Okay. And the funny thing is before they would allow you to call any of the 50 people that you had put on that first list, you had to call the monster list. Yep, the monster list. So, these people weren't on my monster list. I wasn't afraid to talk to them. I just didn't believe that they would be interested and or find value in what it was that I had to offer. Okay, so I discounted them as a possibility. Do not do that, y'all. Learn from my mistake. Okay, and the reason that I say that is because we're all in businesses. We all have value. And I'm going to tell you the number one thing that sets everybody on this call apart from everybody else out there that's trying to build a business. I'm going to tell you the number one thing that sets everybody on this call apart from everybody else in the industry that's trying to build a business. And you know what that is? That's you. It's you. It's your desire. Okay? It's your willingness to mentor. It's your willingness to help. It's your love and passion for seeing other people succeed. Okay? If you can come from that place, and I know it's in all of us, okay? But if we could come from that place, go inside, find that, and pull that person out, right? And talk to people. You know, I'm going to raise my hand on this because I've done it in the past too, okay? But how many of us have spoken out of desperation? How many of us just want to put that first person in our business? How many of us are trying to hit a goal? How many of us are in some type of competition and we just got to get that next person, right? Right? I'm raising my hand. I've been there. Okay? When we come from that place, we come from the completely wrong place. Completely wrong. And the reason that I say it's completely wrong, it's real simple. It's because all we exhibit, all we communicate, even though it may not come out of our mouth, all we communicate to the people that we're talking to is me, 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 me. Did y'all get that? Me. How this will help me. What this is going to do for me. How this is going to help create a paycheck for me. You see where I'm going? And so, because all of you all on the call are different. You're all, each and every single one of you, beautiful people. You have beautiful souls, beautiful hearts, beautiful desires to help other people. I know this about you all. Okay? If you can come from a place that says, I don't really care if you join my team or not. And I know we've all heard those words before from various different places. Okay? But if you can come from that place of, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick on, let's see, Patty. She's the last one to say something in the chat. So Patty, I'm picking on you. If I can go to Patty and I can say to Patty, Patty, I know that you love to work from home. I know it's a passion of yours. I know about you that you're a huge proponent of helping other people be